I just want to talk to you guys for a moment about a thought that I had. Something that came up the past couple of days in my life is just the word alignment. And I just, hold on, there's a car backing up. Didn't want to get hit. Yeah, and so something that for me, I feel like one of the ways that God talks to me is like when things keep like coming up and I notice them. So like the word alignment came up in a couple of podcasts I've been listening to, some reading I've been doing, things I've been just engaged in, conversations I've been having. And I think that, well, let me be honest for a second. I have been struggling a bit with just all the change, I think. I'm still trying to figure out why I'm like frustrated and like kind of feeling off. But that's exactly why I want to talk to you and why I think it's interesting that the concept of alignment is popping up for me. Because, okay, I'm out of breath. I'm gonna catch it for a second. Okay, so we're in the car now. But what I wanted to talk about was how alignment in the middle of like change can be it's such an interesting like juxtaposition, because I feel like it's in the last month I interviewed for like 20 jobs and had been going all over the place, back and forth from California to Colorado, and just like trying to figure out my next steps and how to live those out. And so I found a job here in Colorado, which I love. I've absolutely been loving it. And so that's part of what's been interesting to me, because I love living here. I love that I made this decision. I love that, things are like coming together when they've been kind of like in limbo for the past like couple of months. And one thing that I was listening to a podcast about that resonates with what I was like thinking and praying about even just last night was that, we have like this framework about what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about the world, what we believe about God, and all of these things affect the decisions and how we navigate those going forward. And so what I wanted to talk about with you was just to share this idea of alignment and how, for me, it's been like such an anchor, because I feel like in the past like 4, 5, 6 years, I've really like dug deep into myself to figure out like what's important to me, how do I want to live my life, what kind of woman do I want to be. And I know from the outside, people have told me over and over again that it looks so chaotic, and like, how do you keep up with it, and why are you doing this? And I cannot help but keep readjusting until I find what it is that I'm looking for. And I know that like God has like given me so much grace, because I can find it in every situation, like pieces of it. Does this make sense? And so when I find these pieces, so like the last job that I had was not perfect by any means, but I was able to find pieces of things that I loved. Like we had a couple of volunteer days with high school students that came out, and like the whole freshman class of a high school came out to volunteer with us, and I got to help manage and organize and interact with those students. And for me, going home that night and putting my head on the pillow, I realized I love high school students. Not everyone does, and so that was a really useful puzzle piece for me to be able to figure out like there's something in this, and like something in that budding purpose that I really love, and like I wanted to have more of in my life. And so I ended up quitting that job after I had finished a project with them, and I said, you know what, like I am looking for something more. And so I went to go pursue potentially doing like a youth pastor position, and I realized, while I love youth, like I don't want to be a youth pastor, and that's okay. And so I went to go fully explore that option, and I had the privilege of preaching at a couple of different events, which was amazing and awesome, and I loved that. But that wasn't it either. And so, yeah, it's funny because like the point with the alignment thing, my earring just fell out. Awesome. The point with the alignment thing that I think is sticking out to me, and I'll probably jump on and talk more about this going forward again, but like shifting is looked down upon a lot of times. Like I know for myself, I've grown up thinking like I need to have a plan, I need to understand exactly what I'm supposed to do, I need to execute it. That is success. And I think that my alignment has shifted to, you have purpose, you have a calling, you have skills and gifts that this world, will benefit from if you have courage to tap into that. And adjust until you hit it. And honestly, even when you hit it, you're still going to be adjusting. And so, what are you aligning to? That's really like been on my heart and my mind. What am I aligning to that is, part of who I am? Like, am I trying to stay true to the calling and the purpose that I have and what's important to me and what is important to my belief system? And why? Why is that important? And how do I keep readjusting until that becomes more and more clear and more aligned with how I live my day-to-day life? If you're not feeling aligned, maybe part of that's transition. Maybe part of that is change, or that you need to make a change. Maybe part of it is that you've been comfortable where you've been and you started to make a change, and that's uncomfortable. Alignment, if you've ever been to the chiropractor, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's like uncomfortable and it shifts you and you're like, what's going on? And then but you walk out a little bit more whole. And I think that's really like what God's been speaking to my heart, is like, have courage to realign, have courage to readjust, have courage to walk into the chiropractic office and feel like I'm not quite where I want to be, but I know that there's something better and I'm willing to go chase that, and to come in and to find those pieces, those knots in my back, those those stubborn parts of me, if you will, to go with that analogy even further, and to work those out and to mitigate those and be proactive about them. So I just wanted to encourage you. Those are just some of the thoughts. Also, it helps me when I process these things out loud to you guys, and whoever bothers to watch these videos. Honestly, I go back and watch these too, so hopefully it's helpful. Go rock it today. Have courage to realign, and your pace is going to look different than mine, and that's totally okay. Full grace for both of us. So go kill it, and today's Tuesday for me. I don't know what day it is for you, but happy day to you.